And the top-level peace talks between U.S. and Iran in Islamabad have failed, with U.S. Vice President announcing that they are heading back to U.S. without an agreement. The talks, which were extended well beyond original schedule, went on for 21 hours before turning inconclusive.
We have been at it now for 21 hours, and we've had a number of substantive discussions with the Iranians. That's the good news. The bad news is that we have not reached an agreement, and I think that's bad news for Iran much more than it's bad news for the United States of America. So we go back to the United States having not come to an agreement. We've made very clear what our red lines are, what things we're willing to accommodate them on, and what things we're not willing to accommodate them on. And we've made that as clear as we possibly could, and they have chosen not to accept our terms.
Over the past 24 hours, discussions were held on topics including Strait of Hormuz, nuclear issue, war reparations, lifting sanctions, complete end of war against Iran. Canadian state media has said that Iran-U.S. negotiations ended without an agreement. It further suggested that America's excessive demands prevented a common framework and agreement. The Canadian state media said that Iran repeatedly presented new initiatives and tried to invite the American side. However, U.S. stayed unrealistic, preventing the achievement of a common framework at each round. It further added that despite Pakistan's intervention early this morning, suggesting another round of talks and exchange of text ended without a result due to the same American spirit. Spokesperson for the Iranian foreign minister Ismail Baghouti said that talks were conducted in an atmosphere of mistrust after 40 days of war that was imposed by U.S. He added the Iranian delegation was pursuing the rights and interests of the Iranian people.
This round of negotiations took place after 40-something days, 40 days of imposed war, and a few days after the ceasefire, in an atmosphere filled with mistrust, suspicion, and ill will. In any case, the American side committed a military transgression against the Islamic Republic of Iran, along with the Zionist regime, for the second time during the 9 months. Therefore, it was natural that from the beginning, one should not have expected that we could reach an agreement in a single session. I don't think anyone had such an expectation, despite the fact that I said this session was the longest we've had in the past year.
And just minutes after his press conference, the U.S. Vice President left Islamabad for Washington. Vance boarded Air Force Two at about 7:08 a.m. local time and waved to Pakistani officials from the top of the stairs, while the Indian delegation led by Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi left Islamabad an hour later.